Welcome everyone to CypherHaunt. My name is Yuri Lavor, and today we're going to be talking about the one, the only Bitcoin. Throughout this video, I will share with you all Bitcoin history and its current standings, how news affects Bitcoin, and do some technical analysis to show if it's a good time to buy. Now, all of the information here is my opinion only and not a financial advice. So let's dive in. The origin of Bitcoin. So basically, Bitcoin is the first cryptocurrency that was created in 2009 by Satoshi Nakamoto. It is the peer-to-peer transaction, borderless payments, and fraud prevention, as they state in Bitcoin.com. Okay, so everything else after that, essentially created of the Bitcoin source, is altcoins. So even though Ethereum has a huge market cap and it's second in the top from the top, it is still an altcoin. Bitcoin is first, and everything else is altcoins. Okay. Till this day, Bitcoin has remained the number one dominance through the market cap. And I think the big reason why is because whenever you go to any type of exchange, Bitcoin market is the biggest. So for example, if you go to Bittrex and you try to buy a Lisk, right? If you go through Ethereum and USD Tether, they don't offer it basically. So you can only go through Bitcoin market to buy this cryptocurrency. So because you still need Bitcoins in the in your portfolio to buy other altcoins, Bitcoin remains the number one transaction basically currency. So you use your fiat to buy the Bitcoin, and then the Bitcoin to buy the Lisk. And when you sell your Lisk, actually, you'll probably get into in the Bitcoins, right? Because still it's not available in USD Tether or Ethereum. Now this might change, and I know that Bittrex is working on it now. However, nothing is final, and still Bitcoin is the king. Okay. Also, a lot of people relate Bitcoin to gold. And a couple of touch-ups on this is that if you compare Bitcoin with gold, as far as the total supply, right, which is 21 million, and gold, I think it's like 8.2 trillion in the world. One thing that I want to point out to you guys is basically Bitcoin is a technology, so it's constantly improving, right? Even though it's improving at a slow pace, it could potentially get much faster than it what really is. So the transactions are going to be faster, right? Some of the scalability issues could be worked out as well, and potentially the fees to do the transaction with Bitcoin are going to be cheaper. So when gold is just gold, so you can cut it up in little pieces and make a bunch of jewelry out of it. But I mean that's it, right? It's a metal. Bitcoin is a technology, so it can always grow. So I think it's better than gold. Um, as far as for the past year, of course, Bitcoin took off, and everyone knows around the world by now that Bitcoin, they might not know cryptocurrency or altcoins, but everyone knows about Bitcoin because it's such a exuberant run up, right? It is just a crazy run up. And if you compare it to like the technology since '94 or biotech, right, or the home builders, still Bitcoin just beat them all by a mile. You know what I mean? So it just has a crazy run, and I think a lot of it to do is because it's just such a new technology. It's been so hyped up, and it's easy. It's pretty much easy to invest, right? So anywhere in any country, as far as even with the regulations, people are still buying Bitcoin. They're going around it, and when the countries say that you cannot buy Bitcoin, like for example, China had a ban on cryptocurrencies and ICOs a couple of times. What happens is that money is going to go somewhere else, right? So what I think countries are realizing now is that Bitcoin is not going to go away. Cryptocurrency is not going away. People, this is what the new stage of money is going to be, right? It's cryptocurrencies. So they are trying to regulate it, which is, I believe, a good thing because it prevents against scams and pump and dumps. But at the same time, they kind of have to work it where it's still available for everyone to invest. So it will be interesting with the decentralized exchanges as well, because you can really regulate the decentralized exchange. But as far as right now, that's where we are. Okay. And because Bitcoin went up so high, right? It's a very, very volatile currency if you compare it to gold or the stock market, right? So the ups and downs of Bitcoin are a lot higher, the percentages, right? So it could go up at 20, 30% in a day and drop same way, right? In fact, we had a correction almost 70% down. So um, I think what we sometimes forget, that the crypto people and people that believe in it and so much is that we're in a very ambitious project here, right? So we're basically saying that crypto is going to take over all the money in the world. Now, it's not necessarily Bitcoin is going to be that one currency. There's a bunch of other altcoins, but overall, crypto is that's what we're saying, right? So if you look at it at its peak, right, Bitcoin when it was $318 billion, right, it's not even what is it? It's not even 1 trillion. So it's not even 20% of the total gold market, right? It's a fraction of stock market, and that means the road to for example Bitcoin to be as big as gold. I mean, it has it has to go like 30 times up, almost 35 times up, current what it is, market cap. So there's long ways to go. We're still in the early adoption. And which brings me to this graph that's been circling around, and I've studied it and I showed this graph to all of my friends in crypto, and a lot of YouTubers are pointing it out how we're like in the bear trap and it's gonna go up and essentially it's gonna go down. And I was thinking to myself, even if we are um, already going up and we're in the public, I still think that there is more room to go up than this. This is not the top. Okay. The reason why is because I think that if ambitious as it sounds, cryptocurrency going to take over the money, right? The existing money in the world. That what we're looking at essentially is an adoption graph. So the difference between this graph, right, it constantly goes up and down, and eventually it will go up, right, higher than this after it drops here. Um, I think that we're looking more into an adoption graph where the old money is essentially going to disappear. And the reason why I think so is because just think about what gold is, right? So we have gold reserves, right? But at the same time, who carries gold, right? So no one has gold to pay. Like if you go to a bar right now, right, and you want to pay for a beer, are you really gonna go and I don't know, dig up some gold or buy some gold and try to pay the dude with some gold? No, right? You're gonna use your credit card. And the funny part is that your bank is closed, right? It's somewhere, right, electronically stored, and you use this plastic card and transaction goes through, right? So essentially it's already digital currency, right? So that's the same thing as with Bitcoin. So what I think is going to happen, we're pretty much right here, right? And we're going to hit some ups and downs on the way, obviously, right? There could be some poo poo on the way, but we're still going to go up, right here. And I think the reason why we have this falls as we're slowly taking over is because the banks are pretty much they're scared, right? Because what do you need the bank for if you have a decentralized exchange, right? If you have your wallet, if you have all your money there, and well, what do you really need the bank for? You don't, right? And that's why that right now you see a lot of adoption with the companies itself that they're trying to come up with their cryptocurrency, right? So it's a really interesting time to see. So I am a long-term investor, of course, but you know, I always like to trade. But just think about it. This potentially can change the world, and just the old money, like the paper, that's gonna go away. That's for me. Okay. Another point that I want to tell you guys about is what the like the FUD, right? The fear of uncertainty and doubt, the FOMO, the hype, government regulations, and how all of this is related to the news, right? So it's interesting enough to see whenever the news is good, and essentially when it's good, it's always good. Like it's good in Asia, it's good in US, it's good in Europe, right? About the cryptocurrency, then the prices go higher, right? And when the Bitcoin drops, then all you see is all this bad news comes out, and it's pretty much all around the world, right? So right now we're having a good week. You know, the Chinese New Year is almost done, and I think the money in Asia are definitely gonna kick in by the end of the week. So, but if you look, for example, this is kind of funny, right? So each time there was an announcement in the media, if it was bad, the money dropped. If it was good, the money went up for Bitcoin, right? Which is kind of interesting. All right, so let's do some technical analysis. All right, so for technical analysis, I always use Coinigy. Okay, so what you can do is you can go ahead and sign up here. Let me reset this real quick. So you go to coinigy.com, and basically you just need the email, right, and the password. They'll give you a free monthly subscription, and you can just go in and do all your stuff. So what I'd like to do, I go to the 1 day, right? And what I was trying to see is that I saw the dip, right? But I wanted to have a rebound, right? So I look at the 1 day right here. So I got in about 76-ish right here, right? As soon as I saw that this wasn't really going down, right, I got in. And so far, it's proven to be pretty good, okay? If you go through the Fibonacci retracement, we had over a 70% correction. Let's see here, Fibonacci. So I believe that that's pretty much it. There is no more that it's gonna drop. Okay, so if you go to the wick here, right, let's place it right there. Okay, so as you can see, pretty much right here, that was the lowest, right? And that's how we called it. And now it passed by, so this is the 50, right? So we dropped to like 75, right? And now we're going back up right here, okay? And what you want to do is that if you look in the some indicators, like for example, if you go to RSI, and if you go to the MACD, right? So you can see that we're going way up, right? And this line's crossed. Anytime the line's crossed right here, that's essentially a bull market. And if you go to the 1 hour, I just want to show you guys one other thing, kind of interesting. So this is what it's called, the head and shoulders, right? So you have kind of the shoulder here, and then you have the head, right? And then you have another shoulder, right? And what you want to see is that right here, this is the resistance, right? So that's basically the resistance drop, and I'm sorry, this is the support, right? So you want to see the support about above the neckline right here. Okay, so it bounced off, right? It tried again, and still there was support, found support, and it's just going up right now. So I see it selling off a little bit, but it's still holding above 10,000. So I believe this is the time to get in still if you haven't. Of course, I always recommend do dollar cost average, invest every week. Bitcoin, I do think is the strongest coin out there and the safest in crypto to invest. But yeah, exciting times, you guys. So I hope you found this video interesting. That's pretty much it. And the next video, I will talk about a cryptocurrency that I'm going like crazy in. I love the project, and it's only under $1, so the potential for it to grow, it's going to be tremendous. So yeah, please like the video, subscribe, share it, and leave your comments. Let me know how I do. Thank you guys. Bye.